Good evening. We are Bistrot, Quirino Theatre in Rome. We are going to interview Mrs. GETRUDE MATSHE. Good evening, Mrs. GETRUDE.
Good evening.
First, thank you for accepting my interview and by the Italian Book Club.
It's an absolute honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, your book is Born on Continent-Ubuntu. What does Ubuntu mean?
Ubuntu is a Zulu or African philosophy which literally translated means a person is only a person through other people. Ubuntu talks about empathy, it talks about compassion, and by writing the book, I tried to illustrate the philosophy through the stories of my life and the people that I've met through my travels around the world.
So now you live in New Zealand, in Wellington. What brought you there?
I keep telling people that the wind blew me there because I had no intention of living in Wellington. I was going to America in 2001, and through a weird series of coincidences, I ended up living in a very magical place. New Zealand is a very unique country.
You are CEO of Africa Life Education Foundation. What this company do?
The Africa Life Education Foundation was founded to support, sponsor children and women who are affected by HIV and AIDS. As you know, I'm from Zimbabwe originally, and when I started living in New Zealand, I wanted to find a way to give back to my country of birth by helping children to go to school, get access to medicine and food. So it's been going for the last 9 years, and we support 580 children.
So you start a sort of social revolution by books.
Yes.
How we can do that?
I think the social revolution that I've started is really a way to allow other people to tell their stories through books. I believe that the richest places in the world are graveyards because they're full of people who had brilliant ideas, amazing life stories that were never captured. So my grandmother was a storyteller, and I never got to document any of her stories, and I'm hoping I can help other people do the same by publishing their first books.
So you run 3 companies, so you're a very important entrepreneur. So how you can manage and handle your family, your business, how you can run it?
It's challenging as a woman,
right.
But I reached a point in my life where I decided that I refused to choose one or the other. So I'm like a juggler. I juggle lots of balls. I have a very supportive family. My children are not young anymore. I have a 25-year-old son, a 23-year-old daughter, 17-year-old son, and they've learned to be very independent and do things for themselves. And of course, my husband is very supportive of my work as well.
So your first time in Rome.
Yes.
What Rome represents for you?
Rome is a very special place because my father came to Rome in 1967, the year I was born. And he had a photograph of himself standing on the steps of the Colosseum. And he would show me that picture as a child and inspire me to dream to see the world. He bought me a globe, and we would spin the globe and point to different countries, and I got curious and I wanted to travel. So being here today is like a dream come true. And my father is very proud that I'm here. He's waiting to see the results of tonight's book launch. I think your civilization was in the forefront of other civilizations. And as I was walking on the streets of Rome these last few days, I can feel the past being with me, the cobbled streets, the buildings, the architecture, the churches. It's it's amazing, yes.
Also.
You have to come to Rome to experience it. It's not enough to look at a magazine or a book. There's an atmosphere, there's a vibe. It's a city that has a pulse you have to experience by coming.
So we are sharing experience.
Yes.
My culture, your culture, by the book. How does it work?
I believe that people are doors. When you meet someone from a different culture or from a different country and you take time to get to know them, you open up a door to their world. And I'm sure in the time that we've interacted, I have shared a little bit about Africa with you.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've shared a lot about Rome with me.
Sure.
And I go away with a piece of you in my heart and in my life. and I hope I'll leave a piece of myself
Of course,
with
of
you.
course.
So meeting people is amazing. You have to take time to understand them, understand their language, their culture, and their way of being.
And want to remark and highlight that by you, I'm very curious for Africa, and you introduced me to your African culture. Never before was for me. So thanks to you, thank you to your book, great book. And thank you for the interview.
Thank you so much for having me.